Today, we're battlefield maxing. Let's get at it. Hi, hey, hello, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about another gun from my collection. We're going a little bit of old school today, though, with something that is right now what the Mosin was about a decade ago. We're going to be talking about the Carcano. Specifically, the cavalry style Carcano. These are, you can find these anywhere from $200 or, you know, that ballpark nowadays. These things are pretty fun to shoot. The ammo's a little expensive, I will give it that. I'm shooting the PPU ammo that they make, and it's costing me about $1.50 a shot. So this is probably gonna be the most expensive shooting I've done, although I've only got about 3 boxes that I really want to throw into this. But nevertheless, we're going to talk about it. Before jumping into the shooting section, I'd like to give a little bit of history as to the origins of the Carcano and its notability through history. Designed in 1890 and introduced in 1891 by Salvatore Carcano, it replaced the aging Vetterli Vitali rifles used by the Italian military and would become their primary rifle from the late 1890s to 1945, where it would eventually be replaced with allied weapons like the M1 Garand and Enfield rifles. However, what is most notable about the Carcano rifle was its use by Lee Harvey Oswald to assassinate John F. Kennedy on November 22nd, 1963. Allegedly. But personally, I believe it wasn't an assassin. I think his head just did that. They can be narrowed into two designs, Fusil or rifle, and Mosquito or carbine. They were originally chambered in 6.5 Carcano, but would later be chambered in the more powerful 7.35 by 51 round. However, due to World War II breaking out, a lot of rifles would be reverted to 6.5 due to supply chain issues. Mine is the Mosquito 9138 variant, built in 1942. However, the bolt is straight-handled instead of the regular bent handle it was supposed to have, but I can't find anything on it, so it might be safe to assume that it's a non-matching bolt from an 1891-41 variant, which used similar bolts to that of the original 91 rifles. That was a little bit of your earphone dump. Let's get back to the regular scheduled video. So this is my Carcano. This is the cavalry style. The only thing about this when I bought it, I didn't realize was the front sight was missing, so I 3D printed a front sight blade, and it works okay. I didn't realize that I gotta aim really low, though, because I didn't compensate for this. These are, like, non-adjustable rear sights, but I'm just gonna do a bit of shooting today. Nothing too crazy, so we'll just show it off, starting from the front. Here's the front. You have your typical front post iron sight. Nothing too crazy there. But underneath it, you got this pretty cool incorporated bayonet. It's a spike bayonet, but still pretty neat nonetheless. You could, if you know anything, at least use this thing like a javelin, because honestly, the weight's not that bad to throw the thing, but I'm not going to be doing that. See, moving back here, got your barrel, got your fore end, got your sling mount here. Rest of the wood stock. The wood on this is actually pretty nice. I don't know if somebody stripped the finish off like they were going to redo it or what, but I mean, they didn't sand it down because we still have like numbers here. Going back here, we have serial number. We have the Gardone right there. That's where it's manufactured. There's not much else to this thing. You got some various like proof marks and all that stuff. Got your serial numbers, got your caliber. It's caliber 6.5 Carcano. Honestly, not that hard of a shooting gun, although it is a fairly short, pretty lightweight carbine, so it's got a little bit of a kick to it, but nothing too excessive. We got your bolt. It's kind of, I mean, it's passable. It's nothing too crazy. Inside, we got the lever that pushes up the clip that goes in this thing, which is this. Like I said, this is the PPU brass I'm shooting on it. I do have some original Italian early 30s sealed boxes of 6.5 Carcano that I bought off Gunbroker, and I don't plan on shooting them. I'm going to keep them sealed. There's a couple that are open, so I might pop a few just to see what the difference is between modern 6.5 and, you know, the original stuff. But for the most part, I'm just going to do a little bit of shooting, nothing too crazy. But there's your 6-round en-bloc clip style. The cool thing about these is when you're loading them, I'm not going to take it out because it's too much work, but when you load these and when you cycle through all your rounds, oop, dropped one. When you load your last round, the clip will fall out this hole in the bottom here. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you real quick. It won't take a minute. So you load it like your typical, you know, stripper clip fed rifle. Seats in there. Fire, bang. Fire, bang. Fire, bang. Fire, bang. Now, I want 2 rounds left. When I load this last one, you should see the clip drop out. See? Sorry, now when you load your last one? There we go. Yeah, it drops out. So yeah, it's pretty neat. Got your trigger here. Drops, not super bad trigger actually. Wood stock. Got your other sling loop here. Butt plate. Has a little storage container thing back here for, I guess, like a cleaning kit. I think I got mine open. And yeah, I got it open. Of course, mine is empty, which that's not surprising. But there you go. Let's go do a bit more shooting with it and just see how she runs. All right, we're about 40, 50 yards away from the target. So let's go and load some in and just see how she shoots. This thing is shooting really low or really high because like I said, I 3D printed the front sight because I couldn't find one online at the time. But I'm just aiming really low to compensate. So see if I can hit it. Got these new earplugs that are in ear instead of over ear, so I can put them on easier on this thing. A little bit of a kick to it. Yeah, I gotta aim like 3 or 4 inches below the target. Things don't want to fall out every time. Wrong that one. All right, let's load her up and do it again. All right, same thing as before. See if loading it a different way might. Got to shoulder into the thing because it's kind of beating me up. God, that's beating my shoulder pretty hard. Oh, right there, yeah. There we go, starting to get her now. I dropped out that time. Hot dang, son. That thing's a blast. All right, let's load her up again. I'm almost out of the PPU stuff. I want to show you something real quick. All right, so like I was saying, this is what we're shooting. This is typical. This is your 6.5 PPU ammo. Brass case, good stuff. It's about as cheap as you're going to find. It's about $30 for a box of 20, so $1.50 a shot, like I said. I do have some of the original 1930s dated. This box is dated 1936. Sealed 6.5 ammo on the brass clips. And I bought it with the intent of shooting them, but after getting them in there that good condition, I'm just like, I'm not going to shoot those. Those are too nice. But I do have a couple boxes of it opened up already because they came like this. So I don't feel so bad. I actually took, one of these only has 4 rounds on it. So as you can see, this is one of the rounds originally. Got that very wide, rounded nose. This is like, if you play Battlefield 1 like I have, I've played a lot. That's probably my favorite Battlefield games, to be honest. If you look at it compared to, you know, the modern one, you can definitely see the difference in the shape. Bolt's a little bit longer, a little bit wider, more round at the end instead of that pointer. You know, you can definitely tell the difference between the two. I will shoot 4 rounds of this off that one clip just because it was already open, and that frees up a clip for me to use on like brass case and stuff to load, so I don't worry about having to blow through that. And I already got it. I don't want to spend any more money on clips. I've already got them. But regardless, as far as I'm aware, I mean, it's in decent. There's a little bit of corrosion on the shells, but nothing too, I don't think, to worry about. Like, it's not eaten through. It's just aged. Primers still look okay. But we're going to shoot a few of these just to see how it does compared to the new stuff. But, I mean, I still think, though, it's pretty neat. So, yeah, that goes in the safe. That's just staying to look at. I do have about exactly a dozen rounds left, which is enough to load 2 more clips of this to shoot. So I'm going to load. I'm going to just, for the fun of it, let's just see how fast I could shoot, reload, and shoot this thing. Let's give that a try, just for the fun of it. All right. So, I got a load with 1 round. I got the loaded full clip in my pocket. But for the sake of testing, put it in my right pocket, probably easier. All right, let's see what I can do. Just a couple of these, nothing like just 2. .983. Yeah, it's not surprising. Let's do that. Let's get this ready again real quick. Try this one more time. Just see what happens. .913. So about 9 seconds. Well, that was just, you know, something just to do for the fun of it. No real actual thing behind that except just for the meme, but got about 8 shots left. Let's just throw them out and see what happens. All right. Ooh. Probably helps to load a new round. Let's do some range just to see what happens. Let's move back a little bit. I'm standing about 50 yards. Let's move back and just see how far we can go with irons. About 75 yards, give or take. Oh, it's doing okay. Just making sure. Nailed it. We'll do 100 something. See what I can do. All right, we're at 100 yards. 100, yeah, about 100 yards. Okay, we're good. Nailed it. I'm doing that standing up. This is fun. Oh. There's a little bit of a dent in the bottom of this thing here. That's why it's not firing like, or releasing like supposed to. Let's go to 150-ish yards. All right. We're about 150-ish yards out. Like, to give you an idea, let me readjust the camera here real quick. Set that down. See what she does. I missed it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the last 4 rounds with this old surplus stuff. See how it shoots. Powder sounds dry. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. All right, we're still at about 150 yards. I'm shooting the old stuff. I just off screen had a light primer strike. Keep an eye on that one. First one went off. It was potent. Got 2 left. I don't plan on shooting this stuff anymore. I'm just going to shoot these other 2 and be done with it. That was not good. I pulled the trigger and there's a full like half-second delay between it firing. I don't trust that. That's why you probably want to watch before you shoot super old ammo like this. I'm going to manually inspect this last one here before I shoot it just to make sure. Powder sounds good. Visually it looks not the best, but I've definitely seen worse. I'll just shoot this one and hold on for dear life. Last round. Oh, wait, let me make just to be safe. That one sounded funny. I'm going to check for an obstruction. Nope. I see light through the barrel. It got through. I never had a squib round in my life, so I want to make sure, especially if I'm using this old stuff, play it safe. All right, one more. I didn't go off. Holding it pointed down at the ground. I got one to fire, no problem. The other one fired questionably. The other 2 were both primer strikes that didn't go off. I'm going to make the assumption that that ammo is probably not safe to shoot. But nevertheless, it was still fun to shoot. The PPU stuff, that functions no problem. If you're going to invest in something, I'd just pay the extra money and get the PPU if you can find it. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to show this thing off. It's a fun gun to shoot. These things, like I said, at the moment are like what Mosins were about a decade ago. They're super cheap, fun to shoot. Ammo's getting more it's starting to become more common. Appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna go and safely dispose of those 2 rounds just because they're questionable. I could try firing them again, but I don't trust it. I don't want it to blow up in the gun or make a squib and get stuck in the barrel, so I'm just going to throw those away. I get they're historical and they're older, but I'm not taking the risk of them just randomly going off in my safe or something, so I'm going to throw those away. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.